So as a guest, when you arrive, you make your way down this little pathway into what we call our little forest area, and it gets darker and the pathway gets narrower and you're not quite sure where you're going until there, right in front of you, lies the treehouse. So technically it's not a treehouse. It's on stilts. It's been put at its highest point above the ground. It's been put 3 meters above the ground. And it's in amongst the trees. One of the things that I pride the most out of this build is that we didn't cut down a single tree. We did a little bit of trimming just to make sure that it would fit. But the work that was done with the quantity surveyor was phenomenal. He was unbelievable in helping us position it in such a way that we didn't have to cut any trees down. And the positioning as well was quite purposeful in that the largest aspect that has windows is north facing, although in summer covered by the trees. And why that's important is that a lot of these trees, being indigenous, are deciduous. And what that means is that they lose their leaves in winter. So what's really cool is the sun penetrates in winter, it warms the place up. In summer, it's fully shaded and keeps it cool. Once the leaves have fallen from the trees, what light we do get hits the biggest aspect from the north. We've had some incredible guests. One was a young lady who wanted to just get out the house so that she could have peace and quiet to study. She had some big exams coming up, her boards or something. And she was one of our first guests and absolutely loved it because she had the peace and quiet and tranquility to do what she needed to do. A lot of couples have stayed here, so it's obviously very romantic, very isolated, very secluded and quiet. And these beautiful sunsets with the free bottle of wine that we gift them. It all just kind of comes together. So another thing we do is we throw in some of the fresh farm eggs that we have. We have chickens here on the property and we produce the most delicious nutrient-rich eggs from our non-GMO fed chickens, which are free to run on pasture here and are outdoors all the time. We put those in for guests. So yeah, if you wanted to whip up a nice little breakfast in the morning, that's completely doable on the gas stovetop. Being only 20 square meters, I thought I was going to fly through this tour, but actually reminded as I'm going through this and thinking about what I need to tell you guys, how much detail is in this and how much thought went into some of the very small things that make a big difference. Another piece of amazing furniture that's dual purpose, or at least very clever in the way that it stacks and packs away, is this cabinet here, which can completely fold away and open up some of that limited space that's in the treehouse. But equally, you can drop it down and 2 people can have a very romantic and cozy dinner at this table. One of my favorite features is the shower, because we put in a big window that can open and give you the sense of being in an outdoor shower. So you're inside and you're safe and you're private and you're protected and no one can see you naked, but you get the sense that it's open and you're in the trees and you're having an outdoor shower, which is so cool. So we've got this cool little closed cabinet, you've got your hangers, you've got in the closed cabinet plenty of space. So it's what's really nice, and particularly if you are going into a small space, is to properly unpack so that you create more space and less clutter. And we've provided that so you can settle in for your 3 or 4 day stay here quite comfortably, and we'll happily obviously pack the bags away for you so that you're living in here as if it was your home and you don't have to live out of a suitcase. It's got everything you need. It is designed for Airbnb guests, so for short stays, but we designed it specifically that it is actually livable should someone want to stay permanently in it. I for not one day regret having swapped out the sound of taxis and a gunshot for guttural toads and guinea fowl, and encourage our guests to be present, to be still. So not putting a TV in the unit was very deliberate on our part. We feel like people should immerse themselves in the nature that surrounds them, in this canopy that they are so fortunate to be in. And I just mean that in the sense that, like, I feel so grateful that we live on this property, that we are surrounded by like 97% indigenous trees, and that attracts them a plethora of different bird species. And we have guttural toads and a red toad, and we have the common river frog, which in chorus at night are just unbelievable. And so these sounds are so unique for a Gauteng or a Joburg specifically setting, that we just feel like you should immerse yourself in it, and TV would be a distraction. Something about the diversity here, and there's so many different species of trees and bird life. I mean, as a twitcher, if you're a birder, you should stay in this treehouse, because just by sitting still here, no doubt, I mean, I think we in total up to about 70 different species of bird we've identified on our property. And so it's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. So as a birder, it's paradise. You could sit here in the trees, listen to the sounds, and basically wait for the birds to come to you. It's really just about the environment and bringing the outside in. So, when you're lying on this bed, your views are phenomenal. There's two windows, one just above your head. So if you literally look back and over your head, you look up into a canopy of trees and you'll see birds. And then straight ahead of the bed, there's another large window that also looks out over a different vista. And then to your right, as you're lying in bed, you will have the balcony, and you'll have the most incredible view. And again, just that view is completely surrounded by and encapsulated by this canopy of trees, and you're above them and you're sort of in them, and you can see out through small gaps as the sun sets. And as I said before, the dappled light sort of comes through. It really does create such a unique and secluded experience, and gives you just such a sense of nature. And you just, trust me, you won't even believe that you are this close to Joburg or Pretoria. Yes, it's only 20 squares, but with some creative use of that space and some amazing ingenuity, specifically with regard to the furniture, it really works. It's amazing. Hear the tweeting of the birds and the natural sounds around us. And so what it gives people is a staycation, an opportunity to feel like you've gone away, but you haven't had to travel. So our treehouse is done. It's finally done. We've had it actually going for a couple of months now. Had quite a few Airbnb guests. I'm very happy to say, only 5-star reviews, and quite a few of them. The place speaks for itself, and the treehouse does what it needs to do. And everyone so far has had a really, really amazing stay. And don't take my word for it. Get onto Airbnb. I'll put the listing link below. And have a look at the reviews. None of them paid for, I swear.